After last week's epic night spent on the cliff tops, we continue to explore these fabulous islands.
Welcome to the channel. We are Graham and Ellie. We are Wizard in the Wild.
So, we are headed north from the beautiful little village of Reiningdale. We're off to get supplies at the co-op in Stornaway, and if we have time, we want to have a quick look at Lews Castle in Stornaway. We have a lot of miles to do today before we get to Leverburgh in the very south of Harris. And that's Loch Seaforth over there.
Wow, that's just so beautiful. I wonder what the name is of the place.
Just across there, that's Maraig.
Oh, right.
We were looking down on that the other day.
So is that's where we had our sandwiches the other day, wasn't it?
Up on the top there, yeah.
It's nice to be able to see it from down low, actually. So beautiful. And aren't we blessed with the weather today? I mean, what a change, what a difference a day makes. I mean, look at it.
At least with all the rain we've had, the waterfalls and that, they're in full spate, aren't they?
Oh yeah, gorgeous. I do like a nice waterfall.
They must get a lot of snow around here. They've got the snow poles out.
Oh, is that what those yellow things
are
for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some in Scotland before, but they're normally red and white. They seem to be a different colour here.
Got their own rules out here in the Outer Hebrides.
Quite right too. Just look at that view. The weather makes it look so different, doesn't it?
Yeah. These it looks like litter out there, but it's not. That's the peat that they cut and bag.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of that about. We thought a bit messy, didn't we, at first? But yeah. And here we are at the co-op.
Not always easy to park.
So you might wonder why we've come to the co-op, because there are little community shops on the islands as well. But you know what I'm like, being plant-based, it can be a bit tricky sometimes finding things to eat. Graham's all right with his all-day breakfast sandwich, but for me, I have to look around for some vegan options.
Ellie does carefully work out the prices. I'm much more of a bung it in the trolley sort of a guy. This is why shopping takes a long time.
That's 170 times. And yes, as far as beans are concerned with Graham, they have to be Heinz.
Well, we managed to find a place to park up and eat our lunch. Now we're going to have a quick look round at the castle grounds. It's a shame we've only got an hour or so to spare, but we do have a long way to drive. So we took a lovely walk down the edge of the castle grounds, and just a bit further up there is where the river goes into the Stornaway harbour.
It's not often that Maya has enthusiasm for bridges, but hey, she's doing it today. The grounds at Lews Castle were originally laid out in the 1850s by Sir James Matheson and have been in community ownership since 1923. The close proximity of the grounds to the town means it has a long history as a public park and is known as the playground of the town. They are an outstanding example of a mid to late Victorian ornamental and estate landscape, and they have beautiful views over Stornaway and beyond to the sea. There is a network of paths as well that goes through the woods, so there's lots of different routes you can take, which is what we're doing now. And if you're in any doubt as to how windy it is here, well, just look at this.
We weren't sure if this was a juvenile crow, but it turns out it's not. It's a hooded crow. What a fine specimen. And then the heavens opened. We wanted to see the castle, but I didn't want to get wet, so I sent Ellie round the corner to see if she could get a few photographs. I stayed under the trees.
I always think it's a shame when you see lots of cars parked outside beautiful buildings. It does sort of spoil the view somewhat. There has been a building on this site since 1680, but the existing building was started in 1847 by Sir James Matheson. He actually owned the whole of Lewes and decided to build this lovely castle. In 1918, Lord Leverburgh purchased the whole of the Isle of Lewis, including the castle, and he modernised it with electricity and so forth. And in 1924 he gifted the castle and grounds to the people of Stornaway. Currently it has been completely modernised and you can hire rooms there. There's a cafe and a shop as well as the museum. I'm sad we can't actually go to the museum today, but we really don't have time and I can't leave Graham in the rain with the dogs for much longer. Well, the rain seems to have stopped, so just enough time for me to take a couple of pictures to show you the view, and then I'd better get back to Graham.
Now it's time to leave the castle and head for Leverburgh. We have a ferry to catch in the morning. 56 miles this journey, quite a long one. We decide this place is too nice not to stop and have a quick look.
Stunning place. Just look at the colour of that sea, it's like turquoise. But this is a no overnight parking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still some pretty dramatic waves over there. Just look at those waves. Almost makes me want to take up surfing.
This mesmerising beach is also home to CLAUDE, as this magnificent standing stone is known in Gaelic. The weather patterns here are absolutely amazing. I can't actually believe how it can go from this to this to this in just a matter of literally 2 or 3 minutes. Well, that was a nice little stop, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very beautiful. Might have been nice for you. Notice I got sent out again to do the filming and photographing.
I had the steering wheel to look after.
Well, I'll let you off. You've done all the driving today.
Exactly.
So, yes, it's me that gets blown to pieces again. And look at it now. Look, butter wouldn't melt. Lovely.
I know you could show some of the film of what we're doing here and people think, oh, they had lovely weather.
Yeah.
And 10 minutes later, it's horrendous.
Don't believe it. I love the way the sun scuds across that hill over there.
I think Leverburgh Ferry Port is one of the smaller ones.
That would explain why it's got a smaller boat as well.
Yeah.
With only 3 engines working. Oh dear. Things you get me into.
There's not many people live in Leverburgh's supposed to be the second biggest town in Harris.
Oh, okay.
It's only around about 200 people, I think it is, they said.
So which one's the biggest?
Tarbert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Leverburgh's the second biggest.
The land seems a bit flatter now, doesn't it? Not quite so mountainous.
Except where the mountains are, yeah.
Well, they're sort of in the distance, aren't they? I like this building coming up on the left. It's interesting. Looks like some sort of store. But I like that sort of construction.
Well, it certainly stands out.
I like the colour of it.
I think we've got to do a right turn up here somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if they always use the same boat that we're going on, the Port something or other it's called, in it. I can't remember the name.
But didn't we read somewhere that they actually have a passenger service when the other ship's not working?
Yeah, if they have to cancel the ferry, they charter a boat to take, I suppose, people who've got a need to get from one island to the other.
Yeah, because otherwise you have to go back across to the mainland and then back over again, don't you? Which is a very long-winded way of getting there.
Not sure where we park.
No.
Oh yeah, there's an arrow there.
So do you think we'll stay here tonight then?
We might as well, mightn't we? It makes it easier in the morning.
Oh, looks like there might be some people here already.
Yeah, I think they're for tomorrow's ferry. I don't think there's any others today. If we park in this open area over here, and then later on tonight we can get in one of the lanes.
That's a good idea.
Well, we made it to Leverburgh. It's Friday afternoon, the 29th of September, and our ferry is tomorrow morning at 8:35. Now we're going to stay in the ferry port. You're allowed to stay there, so that's what we're going to do tonight, so that we haven't got far to travel to get on the boat in the morning. But I'm going to take the camera outside now and just let you have a little look around. I probably won't be able to do much commentary because there's quite a high wind. Right, this is Leverburgh Harbour, and down there you can see the RNLI lifeboat. There's a lifeboat station up there to the right, and over here is the main slipway for the ferry terminal. I say the main, it's quite a small one. And that building over there is a restaurant, but unfortunately I think they've closed it now. There is no security presence here all the time. They van the people in when there's a boat to check all the tickets. I suppose it makes complete sense to have your personnel where they're needed at the right time. This crossing is actually quite a tricky one. There's a lot of little islands and rock outcrops. They reckon it can look quite frightening when the tide is right out, as a lot of the rock outcrops are exposed. Consequently, when the tides are very low in certain conditions, they operate an amended timetable. I'd seen this fish and chip shop advertised on Instagram. I was looking forward to it, but it's closed despite saying open. Right, Ellie's got the kettle on. I'm going to grab a cup of tea. Now, whenever I have a cup of tea, I like to dunk ginger nuts in it. What do you like to dunk? And don't tell me you want to dunk chocolate biscuits, because that's not on. Right, tonight we're having a very, very simple meal. Ellie's knocked us up something. Because we're staying in the harbour area, in the ferry port, we didn't want to do anything too complicated. So this is what we've got. Let me show you. And this is it, beans on toast. I love beans on toast. Can't beat it.
And a
of course beans on toast is something we both agree on, because it's vegan as well as being one of Graham's favourites. So
Yeah.
winner, winner, beans for dinner.
Would have been rather nice with a naan bread though. And then I get very excited. I've spotted an otter.
Describe.
He's about 3 metres this side of that big lamppost. He's right under the red car now, on the rocks, halfway down the rocks. He's stopped moving at the moment.
I still can't see him. Oh yeah! Sure it's not a cat?
Yeah, well, I thought it was a cat to start with, and then I realised
It's a cat, darling.
it's not a cat.
That is a cat. You sure that's an otter? Go on.
No, I'm sure he's an otter. I'm going to go and have a look. He's in these rocks here somewhere. Ah, no. It's a pussycat. Well, that's rather embarrassing.
Well, I've left Graham doing the washing up. Quite right too. And going for a little walk myself. Here's the lifeboat. I don't know if you got a very good view of it earlier. And there's Merlin. And this little boat here is a fishing boat, I believe. I saw a chap here earlier and he was loading it up. Here's all the stuff they use for fishing, I guess. It's really cold tonight. Don't be deceived by the nice clear sky. You can see it's still quite windy, looking at those little boats bobbing about. There are so many islands that make up the Outer Hebrides. I'd love to be able to tell you what these ones are called, but I have no idea. And when we look at the map, there are no names. That water looks freezing. I'm not going to get too close to the edge. It's quite deep. That's far enough. Must be a tough life, catching fish. Well, I'm feeling really cold now. I think I'm going to go back to Merlin.
So, as we wait for the morning, I take the opportunity to move Merlin over to the ferry loading lanes so that I'm ready in the queue for the morning. And that seems like a good place to end this vlog. We'll catch you next week.
If you're enjoying following our adventures in Scotland, please do like, subscribe, and most importantly, do remember to comment. More comments will help us to keep producing more vlogs for you on YouTube, so do keep them coming.